5 4 3 2 เทคครับ
Okay, first question, do you tell me how relation between Green Party and Heinrich-Böll Foundation?
Yeah. There's kind of a unique system in Germany that all the big parties work very closely together with political foundations. So we would say for the Heinrich Böll Stiftung, we are closely affiliated to the Green Party. That means the Green Party has to accept us as the foundation which is close to them, but we are basically an independent body. So we are not part of the Green Party. We are also not funded directly by the Green Party, but we are very closely affiliated. That means we are sharing the basic values, but we are also kind of an independent think tank who is trying to basically also give feedback and work on policy suggestions for the Green Party.
ก็คือเหมือนว่าก็คือใกล้ชิดหรือว่าเกี่ยวเลย
ก็คือเป็นจริงๆมันเป็นคล้ายๆกับระบบที่ค่อนข้างจะเฉพาะเจาะจงในประเทศเยอรมันที่พรรคการเมืองเนี่ยเขาจะมีมูลนิธิที่ทำงานร่วมกันค่ะแล้วก็มูลนิธิไฮริกเบอร์เนี่ยก็เลยเป็นมูลนิธิภายใต้พรรคการเมืองโดยแชร์เรื่องของคุณค่าเรื่องของแนวทางร่วมกันอะไรอย่างเงี้ยแต่ว่ามูลนิธิเนี่ยทำงานเป็นอิสระจากพรรค
โอเค
แต่ว่ามูลนิธิก็จะเป็นคล้ายๆกับว่าเป็นเหมือนกับองค์กรความคิดทางความคิดที่ป้อนข้อมูลเชิงนโยบายให้พรรคกรีนเรื่องทิศทางเรื่อง movement ต่างๆด้วยค่ะเรื่องการเคลื่อนไหว
แสดงว่าแนวความคิดหรือเป้าหมายก็คือ
ร่วมกันใช่
แล้วเป้าหมายเขาคืออะไรเนี่ยถึงว่าแนวคิดดวงการของเขาแล้วก็พรรคกรีนเนี่ยคืออะไร
So what is the value that Green Parties and Böll Foundation share together?
Well, basically, if you look at the history of the Green movement and also of the Green Party, you find a set of values which are basically very important for the establishment of the movement, but also for the establishment of the Green Party. And basically, Heinrich Böll Foundation is sharing all these values. And if you would like to mention a few of them, that is ecology, work for the environment, peace, social justice, but also anti-nuclear is a very important issue for the movement and for the party and for the foundation. So these are like the main values both the party and the foundation are working on.
Okay, and so can you tell me when the Green Party formed in 1980 right. and before I think around 60s, what happened in Germany or situation?
Well, I mean, the history of the Green Party is actually really very interesting because it was only formed in 1980, as you said. It is based on a broad movement of different NGOs, civil society groups, which come from a very wide spectrum. And you can see basically the ideas and the visions of these movements also now in the Green Party and also in our foundation. So there is like the ecology movement, which was very strong. There was a peace movement, which was formed basically also in reaction to the armament with cruise missiles in the 60s and 70s. But it is also the women's movement, which is still very predominant in our work. So these are maybe some of the movements the Green Party is based on.
And so how at that time was situation of main party, I mean conservative party or social party?
Well, I think the situation was that the main parties did not address the issues I just mentioned in a satisfactory manner for many people, and so many people started to get organized in small groups and initiatives and movements, but they had to learn after a while that it is very important to fight outside parliaments, but that the impact you can make in policy, on policy making, is very limited if you are not in a parliament. So that's why it was a long process that these movements got together and decided finally in 1980 to form a political party, to enter politics really as a party, and I think it was in 1983 that the Green Party made it for the first time to enter into the German Bundestag, which is a national parliament.
And do you think is successful Green Party to the Bundestag?
Well, of course. I mean, if you look at the representation of the Green Party in the different countries, but also in the Bundestag now, it is clearly a success story. And I mean, if you have followed the recent elections in Germany, you can see that in the last elections in Baden-Württemberg, the Green Party won approximately 24% of the seats. So that means it is not only a small alternative party as it started in 1980, it is really in the mainstream of society and is respected by a huge number of people in Germany. And currently in the German Bundestag, the Green Party has approximately 68 members of parliament. Since in the last elections in 2009, we gained roughly 10% of the votes. And I mean, this is a stable situation for many years. And if you look at the situation now, the share of the Green Party is increasing on the provincial level, but I guess also on the national level if you look at the polls at the moment.
โอเคจะต้องเอาช่วงไอ้เนี่ยที่ว่าความสำเร็จของเรา
แล้วก็เขาพูดถึงเรื่องของถ้าพูดถึงตอนนี้เนี่ยณตอนนี้พรรคกรีนก็ถือว่าค่อนข้างจะประสบความสำเร็จคือโดยเฉพาะเมื่อการเลือกตั้งระดับเขตระดับแขวงที่ผ่านมาระดับรัฐย่อยเนี่ยเขาก็ได้ 24%
ผมว่าได้เยอะเขาแพ้กัน
ใช่ของรัฐตอนใต้นี้เพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยตอนนี้กรีนพาร์ตี้เนี่ยก็ไม่ได้เป็นพรรคการเมืองเล็กๆหรือพรรคการเมืองรุ่นขึ้นลูกใหม่เล็กๆที่มีสัดส่วนในรัฐสภาต่อไปแล้วอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะแล้วก็ตอนนี้เนี่ยตามในบุนเดสตาร์เนี่ยก็มีอยู่68 คนใช่ไหมสมาชิกแล้วก็พรรคกรีนก็ได้รับเสียงเลือกตั้งประมาณ 10% ของเสียงทั้งหมดอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะและหวังว่าแล้วก็มีแนวโน้มว่าจะได้รับการสนับสนุนในพื้นที่ในระดับจังหวัดค่ะมากขึ้นแล้วก็คิดว่าในระดับประเทศเนี่ยก็จะมีแนวโน้มที่ได้รับเสียงข้างมาก
ถามเขาเลยดีว่าแบบว่าโอเคว่ามันเป็นเพราะว่าเป็นกระแสเรื่องสิ่งแวดล้อมอาจจะมีโครงการเรื่องของนิวเคลียร์หรือโรงขยะ ในประเทศเขาด้วยหรือเปล่าที่ทำให้ผลมันเป็นที่น่าพอใจแต่ว่ามันก็ยังมีปัญหาอื่นๆอย่างเช่นเรื่องเศรษฐกิจเรื่องการว่างงานเรื่องอะไรอย่างเงี้ยเหมือนว่ามันเด่นเรื่องสิ่งแวดล้อมไงแล้วเรื่องอื่นๆล่ะคิดว่ามัน
พรรคกรีนมีที่ทางยังไง
คิดว่าเขาได้ทำมันด้วยหรือเปล่าอะไรเงี้ย
so Green Party has a very unique goal especially in environment movement and what about the authors the author area dimensions in economics or in social what the Green Party has done
It's true if you look at the beginning of the Green Party, ecology, peace, women's issues, anti-nuclear movement, that was a stronghold of the Green Party. But the more it rose and the more importance it gained, it was very much important also to work on the other policy fields. And I think the last couple of years have clearly shown that the Green Party was able to come up with proposals also in other fields of economic policy and social policy which were successful, so that it's not only a small portion of the population which is interested in these original green issues votes for the party, but also people who before were not like Greens or interested in green issues, but the party could offer also in the other political fields interesting solutions, which of course are very much related to the basic positions of the Green Party. So, for instance, if you look at economic policy, it is also very much on transforming industry into an ecological and sustainable industry, but it is viable suggestions which are being offered by the Green Party in these other fields as well.
ค่ะก็หมายถึงว่าของพรรคกรีนเนี่ยคือจริงอยู่ที่เริ่มต้นมาอย่างที่พี่ปิ๊กว่าแต่ว่าหลังจากนั้นเนี่ยพรรคกรีนก็ได้มีนโยบายที่เชิงเศรษฐกิจแล้วก็เชิงสังคมส่วนอื่นๆด้วยที่สามารถเอาชนะใจประชาชนส่วนที่โหวตให้กับพรรคการเมืองเก่าอยู่อะไรเงี้ยค่ะให้มาสนับสนุนการทำงานของพรรคกรีนเพราะว่าเขาก็ได้มีการนำเอาเรื่องของคือเอาคุณค่าพื้นฐานเนี่ยที่เริ่มต้นของพรรคกรีนเนี่ยมาประสานกับด้านอื่นๆใช่
ให้เขายกตัวอย่างเขายกตัวอย่างเลย
อย่าง
ให้เขายกตัวอย่างแบบเป็นรูปธรรมหน่อยอย่างเงี้ย
Could you give examples of the concrete policies that Green Party has promoted in the other fields of policy, like economic or social? So the concrete one is achievement.
Well, let me just
บอกไหมอย่าง
think
อย่าง
about
นี้ไง
how.
อย่างแบบเรื่องพลังงานลมที่ว่าเขาสนับสนุนแล้วมันก็มีคนว่างงานหรืออะไรเงี้ย
Or like for example that the wind energy policy or renewable energy policy and it's increased the share of in labor market something like that.
One example for policy suggestions which have been basically very much pushed by the Green Party was, for instance, the promotion of renewable energies in Germany. Renewable energies are seen as a clear alternative to conventional and greenhouse gas-based energy supplies. And so the Green Party promoted very much the introduction of a renewable energy laws, so to say feed-in laws in Germany, which have proved to be very successful. If you look at it now, I mean, there's a considerable share of renewable energies used, mainly wind energy, but also solar in Germany, which can take a lot of the energy demand at the moment. I mean, it's not completely, of course, but this was a very clear policy towards like restructuring also the energy policy of Germany. Another example is maybe the question of consumer protection and agriculture. In the time when the Green Party was in government together with the Social Democrats, they introduced also policies and laws for consumer protection, for the promotion of organic food, for same kind of labeling. So these are some examples where the Green Party also made an important contribution.
นั้นถามเขาเรื่องแบบว่าถามในส่วนของคนเยอรมันเองนี่มาด้วยเรื่องพรรคการเมืองเนาะถ้าจะแบ่งว่าคนเยอรมันเนี่ยสนใจหรือว่าถูกใจกับหรือว่าถามเรื่องพรรคการเมืองนี่ถือว่ามีบทบาทสำคัญมากไหมกับคนเยอรมัน
ยังไงที่เอากันมา
ถามว่าคุณพรรคการเมืองของเยอรมันพรรคการเมืองมีบทบาทสำคัญยังไงบ้างกับชาวเยอรมันหรือให้เขาแบบประเมินอะไรเงี้ย
Can you give the assessment of how the political party in Germany contributes into individuals, German people, like how they see it, how they perceive and what kind of relationship they build between them and political party.
I don't understand the question really.
งั้นอันนี้ว่าพรรคการเมืองถือว่ามีความสำคัญมากไหมกับเยอรมัน
Is the political party important to German people? Yeah.
I think in general we can say that the German population is quite interested in political issues and that they also relate very much to a specific political party because the political parties have a clear theoretical and ideological background. So that means as a citizen of Germany, you really have a wide choice between different types of political ideas. So if you are more like a conservative type, then you would rather vote for the Christian Democrats. Liberal people have like the Liberal Party they would vote for, and people who are more interested in ecology and green issues, they have like the Green Party. But then there's also another one, the Left Party, which is like based on the former Communist Party of East Germany. So people with a very left orientation would vote for them. So there is a wide choice between in the political spectrum, and also clear differentiations between the different party programs.
ผมคิดว่าคือมันก็มีเหมือนทางเลือกของเขาหลักๆที่ใหญ่กว่าด้วยแต่ทำไมพรรคกรีนยังถึงยืนอยู่ได้ที่เป็นพรรคเล็ก
So as there is others big political party performed in German political system, and how can Park Green as a small party be part of the political scenario in Germany?
Of course, it took a while for the Green Party to get into the political landscape of Germany. I think in the beginning it was really very hard because they were really seen as crazy people. They turned up in parliament in jeans and t-shirts and didn't seem like politicians. So they had a different image. And of course, in the beginning, the majority of the population and also other politicians thought, well, these are some crazy people who are only interested in making trouble and only pushing for ecological issues or something like this. But as I said before, in the course of the development, the Green Party has really proved that it can offer suitable policies for Germany, and that has been rewarded by the voters. And I think now the Green Party is one of the well-established parties in Germany and is very well respected by the population, but also by other politicians and by other parties. So they are really part of the political spectrum and accepted very much.
ให้เขาเปรียบเทียบอันนี้โอเคที่เราฟ้องอะไรอยู่แต่ให้เขาเปรียบเทียบพอดูพรรคการเมืองบ้านเขาภาพรวมแล้วกับของไทยให้เขาคอมเมนต์หน่อยว่าต่างกันไหมยังไง
So could you share your opinion in regard that to look at the German political system, and when you look at Thai political system,
โดยเฉพาะพรรคการเมืองแบบ
especially the parties in Thailand, how do you see it?
Yeah. Well, I think one of the most important differences I see between Thailand and Germany in terms of the landscape of the parties is that in Germany the political parties have really a very clear program, and you can differentiate very much between the approach of the different parties. If I look at the political spectrum and the parties in Thailand, I often have difficulties to really understand where are the difference even between the two main parties, the Democrats and the Pheu Thai. I mean, if you look really into what they suggest and what they have, what kind of ideas they have for the future, there are a lot of common places, and it's not really so clear to say what a party stands for. I think the Thailand parties are more based on personalities, and maybe sometimes also on a certain history, like we can see with the Democrats with their long history, and what we can see also in the Pheu Thai with their history coming from Thai Rak Thai. But it's not so much based on a certain set of ideology, and I think that is the main important difference I can see.
คือแล้วก็ถามเรื่องความแบบพรรคกรีนถ้าจะมีในเมืองไทยมันโอเคแหละบริบทมันต่างแต่ว่าคิดว่าทางห้องว่ามันพอจะเป็นไปได้ไหมนี่ว่ามันก็มีเน้นเรื่องกรีนเรื่องอะไรอย่างนี้อยู่
So do you think that Thailand can possible set up the Green Party, as because Thailand also have Green movement?
Theoretically, I think it is possible, and I think the example of Germany also shows that it's possible to form out of a very broad movement of people with very different beliefs. If they get together and can form a common platform, they can also enter into politics and be successful, as the Green Party is in Germany at the moment. I think for Thailand it is, I think maybe a bit more difficult, because the political system has a certain set of power structures, and I think it is maybe much harder for people just to unite, which come from a social movement or from environmental movement, to to form a party and then also have access to funds to get the party going. So that there I see the biggest challenge in the Thai context.
ทีนี้ตัดมาที่งานของไทยบอกว่าเขาแปลเป้าหมายหรือเจตนารมณ์ขององค์กรมาสู่งานในประเทศไทยมันมาก
So come back to the work of the Thai World Foundation in Thailand. How did you translate it? The concept of work to Thailand?
Yeah. Heinrich Böll Stiftung works in Thailand for more than 10 years. We started like 10 years ago in Chiang Mai, and we just recently moved to Bangkok to set up the office here. And I think we very much take into account the experience also of our work in Germany, and so we translate this to some extent by working very closely with civil society organizations, because this is and was also the base for the Green Movement, and we very much believe that you need a strong civil society to monitor what's happening in politics and in government. And so our approach is very much to cooperate with civil society organizations and help them and support them in their work for environmental issues, in the media work, in gender issues. Our belief is also that there's a lot of knowledge and expertise in Thai society. If you look at the civil society movement in Thailand, it's very broad. There are many very active groups, but sometimes they lack the resources. Maybe sometimes they lack also certain specific knowledge, and we try to provide this link and also try to be a bridge between these different groups, but we also try to get them involved in discussions and debates with government institutions so that a certain change can be achieved.
ก็อยากจะเห็นอะไรในสิ่งที่ไฮริโบได้ลงไปทำงานอย่างที่เขาว่าอยากจะเห็นอะไรเกิดขึ้นอ่ะ
What you want to see from the work that HBS has contributed to Thai society?
Well, in general terms, I would say we would like to see a society which is sustainable, which is just, which respects the rights of minorities, and which is democratically organized. It means functioning institutions on the government level, the possibility for civil society to monitor and also to criticize, and thus work on a improvement of the life and living conditions of the Thai population. But of course, we are only a small foundation and we cannot work on all these issues. So that's why in our current program we try to concentrate on two issues. This is energy and climate policy. Here we really try to promote renewable energies very much. We try to show also the dangers and the risk of nuclear power plants, which are currently under discussion in Thailand. And in the second component, we work on media issues, and our overall goal here is to have a media landscape which provides independent information to all the citizens of Thailand. And this is basically based on the understanding that independent media plays a very important role in the democratization process of each society.
เขาคิดว่าโอเคปัญหาที่เขาทำงานมันอาจจะหลายด้านแต่ถ้าในแง่ของโครงสร้างสังคมไทยถ้าให้เขาช่วยมองเขาคิดว่าเรื่องไหนที่มันน่าจะเป็นปัญหาเป็นอุปสรรคในการที่จะทำงานแบบด้านประชาธิปไตยด้านสื่อสารประชาธิปไตยหรืองานทางเลือกอะไรของเขาที่โปรเจกต์ของ
What is the main challenge in Thai societies when you work in promoting democracy in media and in politics? What is the main challenge?
We have made very good experience in our cooperation with civil society organizations. So as I said before, there are a number of very good and active organizations who take the issues they are working on very seriously, who are very well qualified, who can produce very good reports and papers. I think the challenge for us in cooperating with these organizations is really to reach out to decision makers. So sometimes it's really very difficult to involve decision makers from the policy level into our events and to work for influencing their opinion. So that I see as the biggest challenge at the moment.
ถ้าเทียบว่ากับเยอรมันถ้าทำงานระดับนี้ที่ว่าชุมชนอะไรแอคทีฟขนาดนี้แล้วมันจะได้นะในระดับ policy อย่างนั้นนะ
and how about working in Germany? It's like if that the foundation has been successfully working with the civil society movement, and how about the relation or working with the policymaker in Germany?
Well, in Germany, the Heinrich Böll Stiftung is also very active. So it's not only that we work abroad with our 28 offices at the moment, but we have like our main office is based in Berlin, and we do a lot of work also in Germany. But we also have small offices in each of the provincial states, which we call Länder in Germany. And over there, I think our work has been very successful on both accounts. That means over there we also work very closely with civil society organizations and initiatives. But we also try to come up with policy recommendations which are then being discussed in the local parliaments but also in national parliaments. So for instance, the foundation played a very crucial role in the issue of the role of migrants in Germany. So how can we better integrate migrants into the life of German society? But also on economic questions or social questions, the foundation developed a number of policy recommendations and then also discussed these policy recommendations with decision makers on the policy level. But of course we have a different situation in Germany since we are closely affiliated to the Green Party, so that is also a very good channel to transport the ideas we generate into the political landscape, and I think it's a very fruitful cooperation between the foundation and the party.
Almost finish นิดนึงก็คือว่าล่าสุดการเลือกตั้งในระดับแขวงที่ผ่านมาใช่ไหมมันก็เริ่มมีการเปลี่ยนแปลงของคะแนนความนิยมอะไรอย่างนี้เกิดขึ้นอะไรเงี้ยตรงนี้อยากให้เขาพูดหน่อยว่ามันเกิดจากอะไร
For the success of the Green Party of the latest elections in
Baden-Württemberg.
Yeah. Can you explain a bit how that the Green had achieved this success?
In the last elections in Baden-Württemberg and Rheinland-Pfalz, the Greens did fantastic well, I must say. In Baden-Württemberg, the Greens achieved approximately 24% of the vote, and in Rheinland-Pfalz approximately 15%, and over there they doubled their votes from the last elections. And I think there are a number of factors which led to this development. I mean, for one, it is really that the Green Party has proven, it has shown that it can cover the whole spectrum of political themes and can come up with interesting proposals. But I think the dramatic success of the last elections is also very much influenced by the horrible incidents in Japan, of course. I mean, everybody in Germany knows that the Green have a very, very clear stand on nuclear policy. They have been fighting nuclear power plants for the last 30 years. There is, under the government, under the red and green government in 2000, the Greens basically managed to agree with the industry on a phasing out of nuclear energy. And now when the population see what is going on in Japan, that was of course I think a very big motive for many people to vote this time for the Green Party, where they know that this is a party which is really very clear on this issue. But of course there's, especially for Baden-Württemberg, there's also another important factor. In Baden-Württemberg, there is a big infrastructure project planned, which is called Stuttgart 21, which is a big reconstruction of the railway station in the middle of the town. And in the last year there were a lot of protests against this project, which was about to start. And that also has shown that the population is very interested in these kind of issues, and that they would like to participate in decision making. And the Green Party in this debate took also a very clear stand to try to fight against this project, which is very expensive and doesn't bring very much benefit for the population. So it is kind of a prestige object of the railway company. And so that generated also a lot of attention and support for the Green Party, which was resulted or has resulted now in a very good result in the elections in Baden-Württemberg.
แล้วถ้าเกิดว่าต่อไปถ้าเกิดพรรคกรีนได้รับคะแนนนิยมหรือความนิยมเพิ่มขึ้นนั่นก็หมายความว่าคนเยอรมันก็เริ่มที่จะตระหนักเรื่องของสิ่งแวดล้อมภูมิอากาศหรืออะไรอย่างนี้มากขึ้นด้วยใช่ไหมอะไรอย่างเงี้ย
So in the future, if the Green has increased votes of the election, and that is referred to the fact that German people has more environmental awareness.
I think there are very good results of the Greens at the moment in the last two elections, but also in national polls, where they do very well, is clearly a sign that there is a change of mind in the population of Germany. There is a growing awareness on ecological concerns, there's a growing awareness on energy policies, and I think the population understands that it's not only about increasing income and a better life, but that we also have to be very careful with our environment and with the country as such, and that's why I think many people go for this policy direction.
โอเคมันคงเวลาจำกัดด้วยอะไรด้วยเนาะแต่ว่าคำถามสุดท้ายแหละเขามีอะไรที่อยากจะพูดเพิ่มเติมไหมเผื่อไม่ได้ถามเลยอยากจะบอกเลยนะ
So last question, sir. Is there anything that you would like to add that she didn't ask you and you would like to share in this issue?
I would like to share one point here with you. Currently, the world is really looking at Japan and the impact of Japan, and I think it is really a very tragic incident which happened there. And I think it would be really important for all of us to learn from this incident. And if I specifically look into Germany and the experience of Germany, you know that Germany is also equipped with currently 17 nuclear power plants. Some of them are very old. And I know that in Thailand at the moment society is discussing about entering into nuclear technology. And I think, of course, each country has to make its own decision, and the people should decide about important questions like this on their own. But I think also for Thailand it would be important to learn from the experience, not only from Japan, but also from countries like Germany, which started to go for nuclear technology in the 1960s. But, for instance, in the beginning when they started, there was no concern about what is going to happen with the waste of nuclear energy. And now, in 2011, we still have not a single safe site for nuclear waste. And I think when Thailand is discussing about nuclear energy, it's not only about the safety, which is, I think, a very obvious concern at the moment. It's not only about the high investment cost, but it is also about the waste. And I think it would be good if Thailand can look into the experience of other countries as well, and look also into the experience of Germany, and maybe not follow the same path some of the Western countries or European countries went in going nuclear. But maybe there's also an option to leapfrog this kind of technology and now start to invest more into renewable energies, look more into questions of energy efficiency. I think that is one of the very clear lessons Germany has learned, and let's see what happens next, but it seems that there's a very strong opposition against nuclear at the moment. Even the coalition parties are thinking about their energy policies for the future, and yeah, I think that would be something which might be useful to think about in the future. Okay, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Can you sit down? Insert photo. Okay, thank you very much. Yes,
Yes, very good.
actually have detail or many situation. I cannot ask you all. So I will focus some story, some issue.
Of course, yeah. Yeah.
Very, very nice to talk with you.
Yeah.
Okay. And year from 1980, Green Party, and Green Party to the Parliament in 1983.
83 is to the National Parliament, yes, for the first time.
And that time, who or group can form Green Party? Activists, artists.
Yeah, as I said before, I mean, it was a broad coalition of different, very different movements. So,
Example?
like ecology movement, the women's movement, the peace movement, and these kind of activists and citizens, intellectuals formed the Green Party.
And the other country in Europe, same,
Well, I think Germany was one of the first countries which had such a strong Green Party, but if you look around in Europe, you have in almost all European countries quite strong green movements and green parties which are also represented in Parliament, and which you can also see if you look at the European level. Also, it's important to understand that such things take really time. I mean, you need to have a situation in society that something like a Green Party can come up, because I mean, as I explained also before, in the beginning, the Green Party concentrated very much on environmental issues, and for some that was seen as a luxury issue. And if I look at Thailand, for instance, there are so many other pressing issues like poverty, like social distortion, like the different income levels in the country. So I think it is also, well, the society needs to be at a certain level and stage so that these kind of ideas can have a breakthrough.
And one expectation or one goal of HBF is not mean from Green Party in Thailand?
No, actually, we see ourselves as guests in Thailand, so we try to support work of organizations over here, and we are definitely we are not some organization which will like push for forming a party. But of course, if people would come together, we would be very helpful in supporting them in the establishment of a party, for instance.
Because different.
Yeah,
exactly.
And
do you know UNCC meeting?
UNFCC?
Climate change,
yeah.
Global warming on 2 or 4 April. And HBF to go to meeting or go to meetings?
Well, HBF will participate in the meeting. One of our colleagues will take a very active role in these meetings as an observer. But there will also be a number of side events organized from civil society organizations involving also some of the international guests. And HBF is kind of part of these activities.
And if have you have the meeting from the conference, the big conference from the government or UN. What is the role of HBF
in climate change or
climate change? Yeah.
Well, for instance, in the climate change negotiations, HBF plays always a very active role. Last year in Cancun, there was a big delegation from HBF offices, but also from partner organizations of HBF. And one role is, of course, to be an observer of the negotiations and maybe also an advocacy function to influence like the decision making during the conference. But another important role is also to be part of the civil society meetings which are organized alongside these big negotiations to introduce our own work on climate change issues. And so we were present in a number of forums, introduced research studies and things like that.
And we know Carter Foundation, I mean ABAC or
Yes, of course. I mean, we are in very close contact with the other political foundations, and we also try to coordinate the work between the different foundations so that we are not working on the same issues, or that we work on the same issues in a complementary way, so that we basically, if we have the same objectives, then work together on these kind of issues.
But coordinating, contact or meeting or?
Yeah, we have regular meetings at least once a year. Also, all the foundations meet to update each other about our programs and activities. But if we have, for instance, if we know that we are working on similar issues, then we also meet regularly in between to discuss our strategies and our way we are working.
I'm sorry, how long you work with HBF?
Actually, I started working with HBF in 1997. Started in the Asia department and worked a long time for our program in South Asia, mainly Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh.
Why are you interested to Southeast Asia country?
Well, Southeast Asia is a very dynamic region, and politically it is at the moment also very interesting. I mean, not only Thailand, but also countries like Indonesia or Malaysia. So I think it's a very interesting time at the moment. So that's why I'm interested in the development of these countries.
Sorry, and before, what are you working? What are you doing
before
1997?
Actually, I started my career in the UN system. I worked for UNDP for 2 years in Pakistan. And after that, I worked for an economic research institute in Germany, and then I joined Heinrich Böll Stiftung.
And when you interesting Green Party, Green Movement in Tunisia?
Well, that started basically during my time as a student, that I realized that it is very important to think about environmental issues and minority issues and things like that. So that was the time when I got interested into these kind of questions. Okay.
Thank you, Chef.
Jetzt ist Anna zurückgerufen, ne? Hast du wahrscheinlich schon gesehen?
Anja.
Bankproblem, irgendwas.
Ja, genau. Die Karte schon wieder verloren.
Okay.พูดไปเลยพูดไปเลยโอเคครับ ดีครับ